want to plot this data. So now what we're going to want to do is we want to nest our microhabitats within our habitats. Okay? It sounds complicated, but it's really not all that bad. All you have to do is make sure you have the slow-moving stream above your microphytes, your water column, and your microphytes near. So just make sure you have your habitat above. You can even merge those cells together to make that all one cell. And then you're just going to have your microhabitats underneath, and then your individual microhabitat Ds. Okay? And you're going to do that for all of your microhabitats and for all of your habitats, like that. And then you're just going to plot it. Okay? So because you have it this way, because you have, if you highlight this entire thing, and then you hit insert, it should come out like this. So you should have your microhabitats like this, and then it should be nested within the habitat, and that's kind of how we want this to look. Okay? Again, this is going to be the Simpson's Diversity Index, D, so that's going to be what's going to be on your y-axis. So you're plotting the diversity index. And then you just have the same bar, or the same color bar for each of your individual microhabitats. Right? Good so far? Okay. Now we're moving on to step 8 and 9. It's a little bit small. One second. Okay. So again, kind of how I was saying when you're going through your data sheets, how it might help to highlight things, especially to go and do our Sorensen's index. This is where we want to compare and pay attention to which species we have in each microhabitat, how many species we have in each microhabitat, and kind of line up who's there, who's not, and do those calculations. So here it's going to be really valuable, and even when you're kind of counting up your species diversity, or I'm sorry, just your species richness, your S, it's going to be really useful to kind of highlight these things, kind of like what I was saying. So here I've got amphipods, and I've also got them down in my stagnant pond, you just can't see it. I've got my water pennies, but I'm also highlighting where I don't have individuals. So that way it's just kind of like a sign that you don't have individuals there, so you can't count that. But that's going to make this calculation a lot easier. So here we're doing our Sorensen's index, where A equals the number of species common to both sites. Our B is the number of species in site B, but not in site A, and our C is the number of species in site A, but not in B. Okay? So all you're doing right now for comparing microhabitats, we want to do microphyte far compared to water column, microphyte far compared to microphyte near, and then water column compared to microphyte near. Okay? And you're going to do that for each of your microhabitats and habitats. So here it would just be stone compared to water column, stone compared to edge, water column compared to edge. Make sense? So now, if we want to know the number of species common to both sites, and we're wanting to look at microphyte far compared to water column, how many species do we have that are common to both sites here? Just with these two. How many species?
4? No. 4?
4, yes. So here we can kind of just discount this highlighting part, because this means that these are not occurring in our microphyte far. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So for, again, I'm going to make this small, so I apologize if it's hard to see, but then you can kind of see how this is going. Okay. So now we've got our our number of species common to both sites is 4. So that's our A. Okay? Again, this is microphyte far versus water column. So our B is number of species in site B that do not occur in site A. Okay? So between microphyte far and water column, how many species occur in the water column arbitrarily? So A, B. How many species species occur in the water column that do not occur in our microphyte farm? 2, right, because these are the only 2 that we don't have in the microphyte farm but still occur in the water column. Simple enough, right? And that's why highlighting this and doing that kind of makes this easier. It makes it kind of just right out there. So then C is the number of species in site A but not in B. Do we have, how many species in site A do we not have in B? Okay, so are there any species that we don't have in B that are in A? No. Wake up. You guys see this? So is there anything that's not occurring in B that is occurring in A? No, right? The only thing that we have not occurring is in A compared to B. Okay? So then we have 0. So now to calculate our Sorensen's, sorry. Oh no, that's Hickory's. Okay, so now to calculate our Sorensen's index, an easy way to do that, well, easy, make sure you watch your parentheses, okay, is to just put this equation into here, but then use the fields, okay? So we've got 2a, so this is 2, and this is our a column, right? So 2 times a, parenthesis, divided by, parenthesis, 2a again, plus b plus c, and then have all the close parentheses. And that's going to give you your Sorensen's index. So that gives us a 0.8. Okay? So again, then you do you do this again for how many are in the microphyte far compared to microphyte near. So then we've got how many species? There's only 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 are common to both. How many are common, in this case, A versus B? We've got 2, because there are 2 species here that occur in B, but not in A. How many species occur in A, but not in B? There's 1. Does that kind of make sense? I know it's a little bit confusing, especially when you're not looking at your own data and you don't have it organized yet, but that's how you can go about doing this, okay? And so then you're going to want to do this for each microhabitat, so comparing all these, and then you're going to want to do this again for the fast-moving stream, compare all those. The stagnant pond, you're really not doing a comparison here, right, because we only have the 1 microhabitat. We just have the 2 samples in the 1 microhabitat, okay? So for that one, you're not really getting a true count. So now, as part 9, I want you to construct 2 bar graphs based off of your Sorensen. Oh, yeah. I really need a mouse.